Hello and welcome. My name is Glitter and this is Life Beyond Average. And you know how we say it here, the world deserves the excellent you. You owe it to God, you owe it to you, and you owe it to your generation to become the fullness of everything God has called you to be. And today we bring you something exciting, something out of the ordinary, something God is telling you for this season. Today our topic is decoding fear-driven excuses. So last week we talked about being qualified and how God has told you that everything He has put on your inside is more than enough. Everything He has called you to, He has given you the requisite ability to do it. So having found all of that out, having known and having been secured in the fact that God is with you, what is still stopping you? What is still stopping you? And this question we ask and ask again, we will not stop asking until you go out there and do what God has told you to do, until you give your prophecies the shots that they deserve, until you allow God work the things He has said He wants to do with you through your life to your generation. And of course, we are going to look at a few things. I understand the frustration that comes with, having seen and having heard all that God has told you, what He has been showing you, all the things He has told you about your destiny. I understand it. So what you must do is that whenever the word of God comes to you, you must take it for face value. Receive it for what it is. In fact, your best shot is trusting and believing that God is able to bring it to pass. Because by man's wisdom, by man's ability, none of that is going to be possible. But the shot you must give it is that you must learn to trust God. Challenge God to it. Tell God that I understand this thing you have told me. I am ready to walk with you on this journey. I am ready to believe you for it. So take the word of God for how it comes. Take everything He has told you, the things He has shown you, everything. It is true and He is going to bring it to pass. The next thing you must do is to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. No prophecy, nothing God has told you or showed you has a shot. It does not even stand a chance once you don't believe in yourself, because at this point it is still you that God is going to use. And if you don't believe in yourself, there is no way. He's not going to force you. He's not going to push you into it until you say, Lord, I agree. I am ready to walk with you. At every point that heaven was looking for a man, it will always ask, who will go for us? Who can we send? And the people had to believe themselves enough and say, here I am, Lord, send me. So you must come to a place where you believe in yourself. Believe that everything that God has put on your inside is enough. Everything God has put on your inside, your vision counts. So whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, there is still somebody that will benefit, that will profit from what God has put on your inside. There is still someone that has been connected to you. There is a generation that is waiting for what you carry to manifest. In fact, the creation awaits earnestly the manifestations of the sons of God. And it is you and I and every other person that God is waiting on today. So what is still stopping you? I understand the frustration sometimes where you see yourself and you are wondering, how do I bridge the gap between where I am right now and where God is saying I should be? I know that the struggle is real. You're asking yourself, as far as this life is concerned, as far as me and God is concerned, we are looking at ourselves. You and I know, God, that where I am right now, there is nothing that is able by myself and by everything that is around me and the circumstances surrounding this. In fact, my environment, my background, so many things you will tell yourself at this point. So many things makes it difficult for the human mind to comprehend at this point how you are able to bridge the gap between where you are and where you ought to be. But that brings me back to my first point again. You must believe God for what He has said. You must believe God for what He has said, and you must believe in yourself. And sometimes you see the future, you want the future, you are pursuing it, you are doing what it takes, you are trying your best. You're giving it your all. You're telling God that I am ready to walk with you on this journey. But still you have no idea. Your mind is not even able to comprehend the largeness. And that is what God has said. No eyes have seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man what God is set to do. But unto us it has been revealed. God has already shown you. God has already told you what He is set to do with you. All you need to do is to believe. I understand how that that sometimes our minds will even fail us. Me and you know that there are times that you finish thinking about what God has said He would do, or what God has said He would use you and do. And by the time you are done thinking about it, you are more depressed than you are encouraged. You are more depressed than you are encouraged. You are more fearful than, like, it's not supposed to be like that. Alright? It simply shows that you have to hold on to God's word enough that whenever you think about it, like, your imagination is becoming wild, your imagination is enlarging. You must come to a place where it is a resolve in your heart. See, the prophecies of God are worth fighting for. They are not going to come to you on a platter of gold. You will fight for it. You will pursue it. You will give it all you have got. Alright? So you must pursue it for whatever it will take you. You must tell yourself, I am ready to work with this. I am ready to give it my all. I am ready to run after it until I carry it with my two hands. I am not going to stop. And I understand there is also a point where you will feel like, this thing that I have, this thing that God is telling me to do, I don't think is good enough. How will people receive it? How will people perceive me? One of the first things you must tell yourself is that there is someone out there that needs my value, that the value I am carrying, my world is looking for it. I may not have discovered them yet, but they are waiting for me. They are even looking for me right now as I speak. The minute I am wasting time, any minute I am wasting, any time I am wasting, it just simply means that they are not finding me because I have not yet come out. That thing is something you must assure yourself and tell yourself again and again. They have not only found me because I have not come out. Once I come out, those people will find me. Those people will look for me. Those people would, everything I am carrying, they need it. You must remind yourself every day, my world needs what I carry. I have been equipped rightly for them. I am the salt, I am the light, I am God's battle axe, I am everything that God has called me to be, and they are just waiting for me to manifest. They are just waiting for me to show up. Alright, and all I need to do is to be fast about it. So what is still stopping you? What is still stopping you? At this point that you are already, you are doing all the things, you are pursuing it, you are putting it in your heart, you are making your confessions, you're waging war, you're praying with your prophecies, all of these things that you're doing, what is still stopping you? Something I've also noticed, while you are waiting for when God will give you a go-ahead, while you are waiting for these things to begin to manifest, make sure that you are preparing, make sure you are doing the groundwork, make sure that you are putting all the necessary steps, you are building all the things that you need to build at this point. Make sure you have the blueprint so that when the time is right, when you are now called to show up, when you have the opportunities, you have the platform, you meet the people that are looking for that your idea, you meet those people that will fund those ideas and those businesses that you have. You have your blueprint. You already have your business plans. You already have you have made the calculations of the capital you need. You have done all of this. You have done the groundwork. The least you can do, have the groundwork done already. So that when opportunities show up, they are asking you, okay, what is this about? You cannot even explain yourself in just 5 minutes. You must be able to communicate your vision, communicate that idea within the shortest period of time. Anybody that you come across, if they ask you, you're able to communicate it. Even if it's not the biggest picture, not everything you've seen, but at least have a picture of what it is that you want to do. Have those things on ground. When they are looking for you, they are looking for a proposal, you don't have it on ground. When they are looking for your CV, you don't even have the right CV at this point. Like, what do you want God to do? Like, allow opportunities to come so that you will now disgrace Him. Or what do you want Him to do? And that brings me to the question again, what is stopping you? And we are going to look at the character of, how the way fear-driven excuses work. And the deceitfulness about them is the fact that they are so much in your mind, so much in your head, that you think they are right. You think they are very valid. You think they are very, very important. At the end of the day, when you really look at them, you know that there is nothing here. It has been all in my head. All this while it has been me and myself. I have been the one that's been short-circuiting myself. In fact, one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that God has not allowed me to bring it out. I have done that one countless times. I have told myself, it's not yet time. It's not yet this one. In fact, many of us have hidden behind the curtain of it's not yet time. Meanwhile, God is looking at you and saying, how many more time do you need? I have told you, I've given you instructions, but you are still lagging behind. I have told you what you need to do, people you need to meet, what you need to prepare and carve it on ground. Once the people show up that I am bringing to you, you know what to tell them. You know how to go about those things. Yet, you are still telling yourself that it's not yet time, it's not this one, it's not this one. Many of us are feeding behind I don't have a go ahead, to hide and leave the people that are supposed to be benefiting from the bounties of what God has put on our inside. They are still there, they are still waiting for you. God forbid that God will raise another person to do what you're supposed to be doing at this time and season. God forbid. Make sure that once you know that God has given you a go ahead, make sure that you are following the instructions. Make sure that you're doing what He is saying you should do. And it starts with the little instructions. It may not be all go and open crusade, go and start doing this. No, it may be the little instructions, little obedience. You must start from there. That small instruction He has given you, obey it one step after the other. Be following God per instruction. Be following God per the things He's telling you to do at every point in time. And He's ready to work with you on those. The only reason sometimes it feels like you're not hearing the voice of God is because those things that He has already told you to be doing, you are not doing them. The people He has told you to reach out to, you have not even still called them. You have not even looked for their number. The people that He has said, okay, this is the person that you should pattern yourself, you have not even started, learning from them, following their footsteps, seeing the principles that have helped them over time. You have not started doing all of that. You're not going to emerge as a lone ranger. You would learn from people. You will do, you need all of these things at this point. You must come out of your head. You must be ready to embrace what God has told you to do. Alright? So we're going to be looking at them one by one. How does this fear-driven excuses look like? What would they even look like? Alright? The first thing, every time you look at what it is that God has told you to do, every single time you see everything that is wrong with it. Everything is all of a sudden wrong with it. The minute you think about coming out, this one is wrong, this one is wrong. Even the things that people have told you is good, is okay, you're still feeling like it's not good enough. And one of the things it does to you is that it wastes your time. It makes you feel like it's not good enough. So even sometimes the people that ended up coming out, they are doing it like with fear. They are not giving it their best. They are not, because they don't first of all think that it is even good enough. Alright? So even when they come out, they are doing it at low level. They are doing it average. They are taking it slowly. They are taking it casually because they don't feel like it is important or it is that good that they should put it out there and flaunt it and flaunt what God has given them to do. They don't think it is that good. Alright? So one of the first things fear-driven excuses does to you is that it makes you feel like everything is wrong with it. Everything is wrong with what you are seeing. You are just dissatisfied with it. You are not proud of it. You're not confident about it. You just find that you're not confident about it, and it ends up making you feel like you are scared of putting it out. You're scared of relating it to people. You're scared of saying it when people are even asking you about it. You're already there. Fear-driven excuses. You are driven by fear. Everything, the actions you are taking are fear-inspired. Fear-inspired, and you must see it for what it is. Alright? And the second thing is that you find out that even the things you have discovered that, okay, these are flaws, these are things I should work on, these are things that I should do things differently. Instead of it to challenge you to do better, you become more withdrawn. You stop doing the things you're doing. You stop putting in the work. Some people have eventually, withdrawn from it. They stopped working on it. They stopped taking those little steps that brought them to where they are at the moment. And some eventually dropped it completely. Some completely lost it. This was how you lost those books. This was how you lost those songs. Those songs that God gave you, this was how you lost them. This was how you refused to write that book. This was how you refused to talk to that person. This was where you lost it from the beginning. It's because of fear. You didn't even know that it was fear. You thought, I don't want to put anything that is not good. I don't want to put anything that is not excellent. Meanwhile, even you, after looking at it, you know that it is not about that. You know it is not about that. So you withdrew. You stopped working. You stopped trying. You stopped being better. You stopped looking for better ways that these things can be done. Some people eventually quit on it. People left some of the things that God has told them to do because of this fear-driven excuses. Another thing you find about fear-driven excuses is the fact that it makes you consistently compare yourself with other people. Compare what God has told you to do with what other people are doing. Compare every single thing about the thing that God has committed into your hands with what other people are doing outside. And in the ordinary course of life, competitions are healthy for life. Competition, whether in business or in academic, whatever it is, you need competition for life. All right, and it is supposed to help help you to know what other people are not doing, or you know the loopholes, but far from it, so that you will know what you can do differently. Once people are already doing it, that means there are other things that you can do that is not what they are doing already. But you can't find it at this point because fear is telling you that they are doing better. Fear is telling you that their own is better than yours. Fear is telling you that there is nothing you can contribute that is different. Fear is telling you that there is nothing unique about you. That is the character of fear-driven excuses. If it is normal, maybe you are trying to just give yourself feedback, you're trying to observe what other people are doing. It should be an introspective something that as you're looking at what people are doing, you're trying to find ways you can do the same thing better, or you're trying to find how you can carve out a niche for yourself in the things they are not doing, or you're trying to at least bring something new that is not already being done. That is why competition is important. But the way fear-driven excuses work is that the first thing it does is that it makes you focus on what other people are doing instead of focusing on what you should do to what God has committed to your heart. Alright, that is how it operates. It changes your focus, takes your focus off of you and what you're doing and puts it on another person's own. That is where you find people letting go of what God has told them to do. They already are now doing what other people they are simply saying to themselves that since everybody is doing it, that means it is good enough. Since everybody is doing it, I have now joined the queue. Some people have even let go completely of what God has told them to do, and they have entered other people's lane because they believe that, okay, this is better, this is more than the one I should be doing, this idea is more profitable. The one that God is telling you, why don't you believe in it? That's to tell you that it is fear-driven. It is excuses that you've been telling yourself that are inspired by fear. Alright? You're not confident in the fact that your own too is good enough. And this is not to rule out the fact that there are people that are still doing better than you, who you can learn from, who you can look up to, observe the principles they are working with, engage them, imbibe them in what you're doing. It does not take that away from you. But what the focus is not on what building your own, it is on just focusing on what they're doing, projecting what they're doing more than you're projecting your own. Like it is you just dwelling in your mind. It is you not coming out of the fear of not thinking you're enough. Another thing fear-driven excuses does is the fact that it will always make you look for people's validation, human validation, instead of the validation of God. You're always asking yourself questions. How would they accept it? What do they think about it? What would they say? How would they feel? At this point, it does not matter. The only opinion that matters is the opinion of God. The only opinion that matters is the opinion that will make you better. The only opinion that matters is everything that will set you apart, make you outstanding, make you professional. Anything that would make what you have or what you're doing good is the opinion that should be valid. But any other thing outside of that, you should discountenance it, you should discard it and see if it does not exist at all. So fear-driven excuses make you feel like nobody is going to receive you, nobody is going to accept you, you don't have favor with these people, nobody is going to think of you. Like at this point, are you more concerned about what God is thinking about you and what He has told you to do, or you're more concerned about what people think? Fear-driven excuses make you focus on what people think other than what God is saying part time, other than what God has showed you about this particular thing you're doing. That is what fear-driven excuses does to you, and you have to come to a place, recognize the lie and remove it from your consciousness. That I know, regardless of, there are people that will still not accept this, there are still people that will not be like, you can never please everybody. That is why you must be comfortable and confident in what God has given to you, because you know that you are not going to satisfy the whole world. There are still people that will castigate, there are still people that will say ill of it, there are still people that will never receive it at all. But then you must be confident in the fact that there are still people that God has given to you. You are not called to everybody, you are called to a people. Alright? You're not called to everybody. And you must be confident and be satisfied in that. This particular thing I'm talking about have put people out of alignment, have made people go and be doing things that God has not called them to be, have made people lose out on the destinies that God has called them to fulfill. Many people, this was the point where they lost it. Once they came out like that, and maybe some people said one or two things, they faced opposition, the thing is, He said a great door has been opened to us, but then there are many adversaries. Adversaries will always arise. But what you must hold on to is everything that God has told you, and you will keep moving. I haven't seen all of this. I haven't seen how fear-driven excuses work. So all of these things that you have been thinking, the reasons why you've been telling yourself, and the things that have been holding you down from becoming what God has called you to become, look at it again across the threshold of these things. All right, look at it again. Have I been comparing it? Have I been thinking it's not good enough? Has everything I've been doing trying to receive the approval of men instead of the approval of God? Have everything just looked wrong in my own eyes at every point in time? If you are finding traces of these things, know that they are fear-driven excuses, and they are the ones that are holding you down. But these things are not without a solution. God has already, the reason why God is exposing it today is so that He would use our understanding of these things to give us a headway. Having known how fear-driven excuses operate, we're going to use this same exposure we received to our own favor, to our own advantage. You know, one of the things I said about fear-driven excuses is that it highlights everything that is wrong. And one of the first things He said I should tell you is the fact that believe God's word. Believe everything He has told you is going to come to pass. I will repeat it and repeat it again. There is no other thing, because it is not by might, it is not by power, it is by the Spirit of the Lord. Only Him is able to bring you to where you are. But you must first of all give Him a shot. The second thing you must do is to embrace and accept your uniqueness. What makes you different? Everything that God has given to you, no matter how different it looks, whether it is new or it's something that people are already doing, God is ready to give you strategies that will stand you out, strategies that will make your uniqueness stand you out, makes you outstanding. All right, your difference is in your uniqueness. Your being outstanding, it is your uniqueness. What makes you different from other people is still in your uniqueness. So you must accept it, embrace it, and be confident in it. All right, be confident in it. The third thing you must do is that you must look at it again. Look at that thing again. Give yourself honest reviews, honest feedbacks and honest reviews. Every single time, look at it again. If there are things that you can change, make sure that you're changing them. There is always room for improvement. There is always room for improvement. You don't know it all. There is always a way you can do these things better. And the minute you discover them, make sure that you adapt to it. Make sure that you are flexible enough to adapt to the situations and the current things that are happening. Make sure that you are building it again. You are building yourself up. You are doing more. Make sure that at every point in time you are giving it a critical look. Be the first judge of your own work. All right, be the first person to give yourself review. Be the one that criticizes yourself more than anybody else. Don't be so inflexible that you cannot make a change or you cannot adapt to the way certain things are done. Make sure that you are flexible enough. Make sure that you are open to learning and relearning and unlearning every single day. Challenge yourself to be better every day. Challenge yourself to be the best version of yourself. Challenge your business to be the best that there can be. Challenge yourself in every area of your life to be the best that you can be at every point in time. Don't stop looking for new ways to do things. Don't stop looking for how to make things better. Don't stop looking for how to improve. Don't stop looking for the best ways that these things can be done. Make sure that you're challenging yourself to be better. Challenge yourself every day. Make sure the next thing you're telling yourself is how to beat your former records. Make sure that everything you're competing against is yourself and the success of yesterday. That is your focus. That should be your focus. Do not settle for anything that is not excellent. Do not settle for anything that is less of you. Alright? And having settled all of this, make sure that you look for people that you can receive feedback from. Look for honest people that you can present these things to, and they'll give you feedback. They will tell you what you need to do differently. There's something they call blind side. There are times that you can't see some of these things. You can't see some of the errors. You can't see that things can be done differently. Give people that you know are rooting for you, and be ready to take the feedbacks. Be ready to receive it of them. Don't make them the enemy because they are telling you the truth. Don't put them aside because they are now helping you. Make sure there are people that are also rooting for you. Don't get people that will discourage you. And once you're done with that, put a timeline to it. Put your timeline to it. Put a timeline to it. Don't procrastinate. Tell yourself, okay, God has given me a go ahead. I have done all the necessary checks. I have done all the things I need to do. People have looked at it. People have given me feedbacks. I've done all the changes I need to do. Put a timeline. This is when I'm going to do this. This is when I'm going to meet this person. This is when I'm going to draw up this proposal. This is when I'm going to meet this person. This is how I'm going to go about it. Put a timeline. Once you don't put a timeline, you will always tell yourself, tomorrow is the better time to do it. Tomorrow is the best day. Next tomorrow is the best. You're waiting for everything to be just right. There is not going to come that time. Alright? By the time these things are all ready for you, it is no longer important. It is now too late. So do it now that God has given you a go ahead. Obey and go and start doing what God has told you to do. And make sure, don't forget, make it excellent. Make it excellent by all standard. Whatever you need to do, let it be that is the best that can be done. If there are better ways to improve it, that should be your aim. That should be what you are aiming at. That should be your goal. That should be what you are fighting for every day. And don't forget, find people that you are accountable to. This is very important. Many people are trying to run things by themselves, do things by themselves, and most times they don't have people they are accountable to. So it's easy to lag behind. It's easy to skip on certain things. It's easy to say, I'm no longer going to do this. It's easy to let go of so many things. But once you have people that can hold you accountable to some things you have said you do, if you have said, okay, this is the timeline, this is when I want to submit this proposal, let the people know. Make sure that the people you are accountable to, you are carrying them along. Let them know what you want to do part time. Let them know how you want to do it, so that they will hold you accountable. They can ask you, that thing you said you want to do today, have you done it? Have you called that person? Have you written the proposal? Have you done whatever it is that you need to do? They are able to hold you to account. They are able to hold you responsible for those things. And to have a more reward for their labor than just one person doing only by themselves. Allow the people that you said, I am accountable to you, allow them to really hold you to account, and be ready to collect it from them. Whatever they bring your way, be ready to receive it. Right? Let them ask you the questions. Let them challenge you. Let them challenge the mediocrity. Let them challenge the things that are not right, and be ready to make the necessary changes. Make sure you're carrying them along, and make sure you're also working with them to achieve what God has told you to do. And lastly, do it afraid. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. I can say it 1,001 times. Do it afraid. You have the backing of God. Everything He has given you is enough. Whatever it is that He has called you to is more than enough for the generation He has assigned to you, connected to you. They are there and they are waiting for you. Don't rid them of the opportunity to be blessed because you are afraid, because you don't want to come out, because you are not ready to show up. God is with you, and that is the message today. Even when Jesus sent the disciples, He said, "Lo, I am with you to the end of the age." Anything God has commissioned, He is ready and is committed to seeing through to the end and making it succeed. Make sure that you're working with God and you're not giving up on yourself. And that brings us to the end of this teaching today. I believe you've learned something. I believe you've been encouraged, and I am challenging you today. Revisit those instructions that God has given you, those ideas He has given you. Dust them again. Those songs He has told you to go and record, dust them and come outside. Come and do what God has told you to do. Those books He has given to you, give it a shot. The prophecies of God on our lives, they are worth fighting for. There is a generation that is waiting for you, and we cannot keep them waiting. They are worth fighting for. Every single time you must remind yourself again that there is a generation waiting for me. I can't keep them waiting. And we love you. Thank you for staying to the end and listening. Please do well to listen to it again. Meditate on it. Like, comment, share, engage on the post, and bring your loved ones. Share with your loved ones. As many that need to hear this message, make sure you are sharing with them so that they would learn also, so that they will become the fullness of everything God has called them to be. And the Lord has said we are going to be many. We are not going to be just one. We are not just going to be a few. We are going to be many, and this is how we are going to take over the world for God. Make sure you're sharing, make sure you're commenting, and do well to follow us on all our social media handles. It is on Facebook and on Instagram, and our new channel on YouTube. Do well to follow us and turn on your notification button, because many things are going to be coming your way, so that you will know when we go live, so that you will know when we post anything. You need to know and be abreast with everything we're doing here. God is set to do amazing things with your life, and we are committed to working with you on this journey, and we love you. Remember, the world deserves the excellent you. You owe it to God, you owe it to you, and you owe it to your generation to become every single thing God has called you to be. And with this, we bring this to a wrap. We love you. Bye.